Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Repeater. My name is Evan.
And I'm Pat.
And today we are bringing you a live episode of the show recorded on our 3rd anniversary of our wonderful, wonderful live shows that we do in Queens.
We're 3 years old.
We're 3 years old. Someone insert crowds going nuts and clapping.
Club air horn.
Yes. We celebrated our 3rd birthday with Friends Who Folk, a comedic folk music duo based right here in New York. Friends Who Folk is made up of Rachel Wenitsky, who is the deputy editor at Reductress and the head writer of the Story Pirates podcast, along with Ned Riseley, who was recently in the 6 Degrees of Separation on Broadway and has appeared at the Williamstown Theater Festival.
Wow. So cool. And it was really cool to sit down and talk to Rachel and Ned about Save Me by Aimee Mann. It was also really cool to listen to them play a cover of Save Me by Aimee Mann. That's right. We both interviewed them and had them on as a musical guest. It was incredible. What was also fun were their comedy folk songs, especially the one about being French in New York.
Oh, yeah. They are both a very hilarious duo and an incredibly talented music duo. It's truly something to behold, and we were very lucky to have them on our show to fulfill both roles.
Très bien.
Très bien. I don't know how to speak the French.
Ouais.
Ouais. Well, that's all we got for French knowledge. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We'll talk to you on the flip side.
Au revoir.
Thanks for being here. This is Repeater. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey. So fun. It's so nice to be in Queens.
Yes.
Does everyone here live in Queens? Okay, great.
Check
That's what I figured, because it took us both about an hour and a half to get here from Brooklyn, and I was like, oh, people who don't live in Queens don't go to Queens.
Yeah.
Because they're already there.
Anyway, now that I've
You're so
created
wise
a
sometimes.
divide.
Yeah, you've antagonized.
Well, the MTA was kind enough to just shut down the subway for us.
It's been a horrible MTA moment today.
Yeah.
And all days.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, that's the show.
Cynthia Nixon. No, I'm just-
Yes. Thank you for joining us, for being here.
Of course.
We like to start talking about something we've been listening to lately, and Pat will kick us off with that.
Yes, I will. Evan and I went on Friday night to go see Against Me play at the House of Vans.
Okay,
So I've been-
brag.
Yeah. I will brag about this because it was fucking awesome. It was so cool. Never gotten a chance to see Against Me perform before, and it was one of the best shows I've ever been to. Just the energy, the guitar solos, the guitars that Laura was playing were so cool. They covered the Mountain Goats, which for me was like a huge thing. That's like a twofer.
Pat's a big Mountain Goats.
That was great.
Oh, cool.
Big Mountain Goats nerd over
It was
here.
great.
Does Against Me have like a non-traditional rock instrument in it, or am I making that up?
No.
They don't have like a cellist or something, do they?
I wonder. No, they don't.
They did do a lot of cymbal changes for the drummer, though.
Yeah,
Cymbal
that was
changes?
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like how like guitarists, they switch out guitars every once in a while. This guy, the
ride cymbal
they
got
just
switched
kept
out.
switching it out.
Oh, that's cool. I think I'm getting them confused with another band that was like a big high school moment for me.
Murder by Death.
My
they
Chemical
maybe have a
Romance.
cellist?
Excuse me?
Les Mis. The Les Mis soundtrack.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm thinking of the lady
Common
soundtrack.
mistake.
There's a lot of cello in Les
I'm thinking
Mis.
of Wicked. There was a band that I was really into
The Yellow Card.
that I absolutely cannot remember that had a cellist, and I played the cello.
Stars? No. Wait, isn't that a band?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh,
Stars?
Les Mis.
Stars. Oh my God.
No, I don't know. I can't
Well
remember. But
done.
they had a cello, and I played cello in the orchestra, and it was really lame. And so I remember thinking, like, it can be cool. The trick is just you have to be cool doing it.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't.
That is the tough part.
But it wasn't against me, so.
Yeah, I think the Avid Brothers have had a cellist from time to time as well.
Yeah.
That sounds
different
about right.
sound, but they have like a pretty like rock and roll cellist.
Yeah.
He shreds pretty hard.
That was me too.
Yeah,
Just playing Pachelbel Cannon.
Shredding.
But that was really fun. And
it was great.
the opening bands were good too. We saw Cherry Glazer, who I'd never heard of before.
Yeah, they were wild.
And Taking Meds. That was the
Taking
other opening
Meds.
band.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun.
Meds. Wow.
Yeah.
What a name.
They're really upfront with what they're into.
You had me at taking meds.
I'm on board. I relate to this band.
You know that rock star lifestyle where you just like get totally turned and take your meds.
Blood thinner.
Have a seltzer, go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was very fun.
Yeah, it was a great time.
I'll choose something else just to spice it up. I've been listening to the new album from The Internet. I can't exactly remember the name of the album, but there's a song, Come Over, that's really good. I think I'm really not that familiar with this band, but they're an outcropping, I think, of Odd Future, which is like an alternative rap collective, right? And so they kind of have like some R&B elements, some rap elements, some funk, some other stuff thrown in there. But this song is very much kind of like a sexy R&B song, and it's cool.
And there's no cello in it.
I don't think.
I mean, there might
so.
Okay. Well,
No.
you know, I thought I'd ask.
It would be a beautiful added element.
Yeah. Every song needs a cello.
But no, it's just a good tune that like I think popped up out of nowhere. It must have. I think I might have found it on Bandcamp or something like that. But
They're
it's good.
called The Internet.
The Internet.
So cool.
I believe it
So
was
modern.
from someone in the group, maybe like before they were really a group or as they were starting. Obviously before as they were starting because they named the group this. Got tired of interviewers asking him where he was from, and he was just like, "Man, I'm just gonna start telling people I'm from the internet."
It's a good joke.
That is.
Yeah,
That's brave.
yeah. It's also really hard to Google their band
Yeah.
because
Well-
you just type the internet in, you get the whole internet.
And
band.
then it just shuts down. Your computer starts smoking and goes on flames.
Yeah, it's like too negative. Yeah.
That's like, well, Jimmy Eat World just like had that whole thing on Twitter where they were like, we get it. Our name, our name is dumb. And we came up with it for a dumb reason. And yes, the abbreviation is Jew. And we've noticed. And people were like,
Yeah, I saw that headline that was like, Jimmy World is like just warning other bands to choose their acronyms wisely.
to think through their names.
Yeah,
It's not a good name.
no.
There's a whole genre of music that popped up on Bandcamp called like Witch House or something. And the whole point was that like you couldn't Google their names. All of their names were just like emojis.
Oh no.
And that was it. It was very annoying.
Yeah,
So that's a trend.
That's why I didn't get into Witch House. It's
Yeah.
the only reason.
I'm so sorry.
Couldn't Bing it.
Speaking of which, I'm listening to a lot of Witch House. No,
Bro, you witch house?
I'm shredding some Witch House. A lot of Pachelbel's Canon. What have I been listening to? Oh, I've been listening to Mitski, who's
Yeah,
an
she's
alternative
incredible.
artist.
Wow, she's here.
Yeah, here she is in the front row. I'm a fan too. Yeah, she's great. I just saw her live too, and she just played a bass guitar, and it was in a really small venue in Woodstock, New York, and it was so nice. And everyone was crying. It was like a room full of like college kids crying and me. And I felt like I'd come home.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Rachel,
I've been listening to a lot of Casey Musgraves, who I love so much. She's like pop country.
but like in a good way.
Yeah. She's like pop country, but like in a bad way, which is what I like about it. Yeah, I think she's really cool, even though she one time said that everyone should be voting for Rand Paul, which is,
We've all been there though.
It's sort of hard, like with countries. Like I love country music, but you have to kind of like, you have to choose to like them in spite of certain weird upbringing issues.
Yeah.
She's very progressive and
Upbringing
liberal.
issues.
She's very progressive and liberal, but like there are certain times where I'm like, oh, you think that Rand Paul is an option.
Right.
But I love her.
That's great.
Well, he is an option.
He is. He is an option. But yeah, she's so cool. And I just got tickets to see her in January.
Nice.
Very fun. Yeah, I bet her show's awesome.
Yeah, she's really good live. I've seen her a couple times
Oh,
and she
cool.
just is like she's just someone who is very lovely, and she sounds exactly like her studio albums, and she has a great voice. I love her.
That's awesome. What song did you guys want to talk about tonight?
Save Me by Aimee Mann. We rehearsed that for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah,
really
glad
nice.
it went well.
Save me.
By Aimee. Let's listen to a little clip of it right now. It's just so everyone get acquainted with it.
We absolutely must.
They can know the song. It's beautiful.
Yeah, people weren't like applauding when they heard that, which makes me think that they've never heard of it, which is nuts.
But they're going to sit in it right now.
Yeah, like this is the guitar part. And then she's going to sing in a sec.
And when she sings, it's Aimee Mann.
And here she is.
This is Aimee Mann.
That's Aimee Mann.
Is there cello in this song?
I fucking wish.
Only you could have shredded it on the cello.
Her voice is so good.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, she sounds like she has a little cold, and it's making her voice better.
Yeah.
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 She's like, I steamed.
Yes. Well, that's a little taste of the song. You'll get to hear it later on in the show. But right now, Pat and I will try to guess why you guys collectively chose that song.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a pretty good idea. I think that you were big fans of the movie Magnolia because Philip Seymour Hoffman was in it and Tom Cruise is in it with cool long hair. And then you saw this music video, which took place on the set of that movie. And you loved that video because it was Paul Thomas Anderson. I'm just name dropping now for people I don't
Do you know all these people?
I do.
And it was Paul Thomas Anderson, if I recall.
So that's my...
That was a good guess.
Okay, good guess. Good guess. Okay.
My guess is at some point in college, you both went through an Aimee Mann phase and like were deeply obsessed with her body of work. And
I thought you were just going to say her body. I was like, her body, yes. She's very live.
A swimmer's body.
and we're sending sending each other, what about this song? What about this song? What about this song? And kind of like going down the rabbit hole. And then both agreeing but of course, Save Me. Like that wasn't the one that needed to be recommended to each other. That was the one that you both already loved. That's my guess.
Interesting.
Well, we were actually kidnapped. No, the story actually is a lot weirder than you think.
They did that torture thing where they make you listen to like one song over and over again until you
interesting.
confess.
Yeah.
And it was that song.
And I still love it, which
Yeah.
proves that it's a great song.
That's the true testament of a beautiful song is.
Yeah, if I got
Yeah.
tortured with Save Me, I would maybe still love it. It's
I know.
hard to gauge.
Yeah, hard to say.
Yeah, and maybe shouldn't guess.
Well,
But how did you come to this? Because this is also the first time we've ever asked multiple people to choose a
Right.
song for the
Right.
show.
yeah,
So this
and
is
we
a
had to
unique,
like mind
cool thing.
meld.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
We were also thinking about, we're going to sing this song.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that did
Cool.
inform it. But I do love this song.
Yeah, because truthfully, so I feel like, we met like 3 years ago doing summer theater.
Ooh.
Interesting.
They're standing
This audience is
ovation.
very familiar.
I expected a round of applause. But
Summer Soul.
and I would say that we had a lot of similar musical tastes, and we met doing like theater, just plays, musicals, and then formed a musical comedy group out of it. Obviously, because we bonded over many things, one of them being our music tastes. And I think both liking Aimee Mann was not only something we bonded over, like being able to talk about it, but also just like, I think if you're a fan of Aimee Mann, that like immediately says something about your personality.
Like you're kind of sad.
Yeah, like you're like fun and you love to hang around comedians, but you have a darkness and you've seen some shit.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, her whole thing.
Yeah.
Sure. Right, that's true. She is friends with a lot of comedians.
Yeah, she's
I
like,
forgot that about her.
She's always she's like a Twitter person and
she's funny too. I mean, her music videos
really
are funny. And going all the way back to, because I watched it today, the music video for Voices Carry Till Tuesday, her like 80s band that she was in before her solo career. There's like interludes, spoken word. There's dialogue in her music video for her like first big smash video, and even the very top of that video is funny in a way that felt like if you were making that video in 2018, it would be like dry kind of referential humor, and she was doing it back in '85, and it feels the same brand.
She's so funny and like a weirdo, and then she starts singing, and all of her music is like, tell me why I feel so sad. Like, it's all of her music is about like depression, and I mean, it's like Elliott Smith, who like really was horribly depressed, but like it's just that kind of music that's very moody. But I think you were right on that. Like, I had an Aimee Mann phase in college where like I don't remember how I first heard her, but once I did, I was like, this is my personality now. What about you?
I definitely had a moment too. I like that she's also just such a good singer in a way. I also love singers who really have like an affect in how they sing, but her singing voice seems so like purely her voice or something. Like, it's not like, I don't know. I
There's
guess
no
like,
one else who
I'm
sounds
gonna
like
just
her.
throw Joanna Newsom under the bus. I'm ready to.
Like it's an affect. It's very.
I love
it's a
Joanna
unique
Newsom too,
voice.
but Aimee Mann, you're like, it's kind of the thing of like musical theater too, where it's like a little closer to her. It doesn't feel like put on or something. There's something really clear about her voice. That's
like no one else sounds like her, but I feel like her voice is like coming out of the like depths of her soul. Whereas like Joanna Newsom, I think like was cursed by a fairy.
It's coming out of her wings.
Yeah, like I love Joanna Newsom,
Yeah,
but like
me too.
that is a woman who like got in trouble with the fairy, and the fairy was like,
I feel like we've pit two women against each other, and I don't want to do
they're
that
not enemies.
tonight.
And like again, like I love them, but I think you're right about like I don't know, maybe I
just
don't know.
like clarity of voice,
right?
and
Like
there's
voice,
and the melodies of her songs are really poppy, but then there's like that extra kind of darkness or melancholy to all
and
of
she's
them.
a great
It's
guitarist
exciting.
too. Like
Yeah.
I love singers who play guitar. I love women who play guitar. I love women who play their own instruments.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them. I like to sing.
I love women who play harps. No, I'm just kidding.
I love like a woman straddling a big fat harp. But then when we were trying to choose a song, we were also like, well, we could do Joni Mitchell because she's our other girl. Like, we love her so
That's
much.
how we started making all of the jokes that became Friends Who Folk, was us laughing at ourselves and each other about how much we love like kind of
Ladies of the Canyon.
like, kind of really like deep cuts of the Joni Mitchell canon,
But
which
like,
are so funny.
we don't know how to play the dulcimer.
Yeah,
Right.
and like the chords are pretty weird. Yeah,
Yeah, like
it's
Joni
hard.
Mitchell is it's so hard to play her stuff on guitar because she didn't write on guitar.
all open tuning too.
yeah.
Or we could do like River, but it would feel really like kind of
Yeah.
saccharine or something.
Skate away. But yeah, we really bonded a lot over Ladies of the Canyon. But that's not Save Me, so that's for another day.
Maybe some.
So when you bonded over that, did you start playing comedy songs together immediately, or were you just like jamming?
We were at this theater festival, at Williamstown Theater Festival in the Berkshires.
Well known.
Hello. And we were, I feel like, like I'm very actor identified, but I definitely like
Actor identified.
saw a kindred person in you like through comedy. And that felt like, because being in a theater festival in the Berkshires is also intense. Like just being around like a lot of actors in the woods can get, so I found Rachel and we like made a lot of dumb jokes. And so Yeah, we were just friends for a while, but then when we got back to New York,
I was like,
you were like,
well, I had always done more comedy than theater, and then like found myself randomly at this theater festival. And then afterwards I got asked to do a show, and I was like, come over because we're doing a show and it's a themed show around politics. And I was like, we're going to write a song for it. So we wrote a song about politics, which literally, if you were to hear it now, would make your skin crawl because of all of the politics that have happened since then.
Someone was like, why don't you do Aware anymore? And I was like,
because we put it in 2015.
So irresponsible and crazy. We're being like just really glib about not knowing anything about politics. And it would just feel like so awful. Now.
I mean, it was very prescient. Like, I think that we, satirically, I think we were very... right on the money, but unfortunately, I don't know. We're all Trump supporters here, right?
Yeah. No, Rand Paul, baby.
Rand Paul, yeah. Rand Paul 2020.
But that, I mean, that's a great like organic start to.
Yeah, it was really accidental.
Yeah, we did like one show and we were like, we have to keep writing music together. And I think like our love of people like Aimee Mann and Joni and everyone made us feel like we're going to write comedy music, but it's going to be homage to our girls that we love and not like jokey comedy music.
Right. Yeah. We want to like be writing songs that are in a genre and that are like songs with real structures and that hold up as songs also. Yeah.
I mean, I think that always helps in the world of, parody music or comedy music. It's the stuff that actually is good and that you would kind of get caught listening to otherwise. That really stands out and is the best stuff usually.
Yeah. Yeah. And just like growing up listening obsessively to people like that and like Regina Spektor and everyone is, I think that's like how we're able to even approximate that sound.
Mm-hmm. And it's helpful to write a song that's fun to sing because then if people don't laugh, you're just singing. A song. So it doesn't matter. Yeah.
I feel like we're really building us up a lot.
Yeah. You guys are going to love it.
No, I mean, that is super helpful. What is it about kind of for each of you, this maybe some subset of popular music or folk music or rock music where you can marry both melancholy and pop together that you guys love? I mean, where has that kind of always been there for you two in terms of something that you've been drawn to?
Like sad songs?
Yeah.
That's always been there. We're getting really deep. Since I was born, I've been sad. No, I'm just kidding.
But I think there's also a difference.
I learned to be sad.
There's this.
Oh no, that doesn't work either.
It's nurture. Sadness is nurture, not nature.
Because I think of like genres or artists that are like really always sad or like angst is part of the fabric of it. But some of them maybe are also discordant or don't sound nice, and then there's this really nice, I love that in between of something that sounds nice and pretty and poppy, but contains that sort of sadness at its core as well.
Totally. I mean, I think we both like a lot of my early music was like listening to show tunes, and also just because of my parents and like what they listened to was like show tunes and like 1960s rock and folk. And so I think like Joni Mitchell and Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young and bands like that were kind of like forced upon me, and I loved them, but like that I like can't remember a time before I liked those guys. But then like other kind of melancholy folk singers I think I got into in high school and stuff because I didn't want to just be listening to musicals all the time. And then I heard people like Regina Spektor who were doing stuff that was really theatrical and they were telling stories and their stuff was really melodic and they had really beautiful voices. And it was like a way to connect to music and storytelling that wasn't like the Les Mis soundtrack, which I still love and listen to every morning to get amped for my day.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I think that was it for me. Like, and it's why, I mean, I joke about country music, but like, I love country too, because they have great voices and they know how to write songs that say something important, like, I love this bar.
That's a great song.
I think.
I love that song. He loves that bar.
He loves that bar.
It's so funny.
Does everyone know that song? It just goes, I love this bar.
Yeah, there is a kind of country that just is comedy music.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. She thinks my truck is sexy.
Yeah.
Save a truck, ride a cowboy.
Ride a cowboy.
You look like I need a drink right now. Is one that I heard.
Oh my God. The song was like, I can't fix something, but I can fix a drink. It's just like, all right, he's got skills and he wants people to know.
Yeah. I remember one of my favorite songs growing up was Oceanfront Property, I think it's called. And I want to say it's by like Clint Black, maybe.
That sounds like a country name.
Yeah. But it's just like the whole song is a joke. It's basically like, you're telling me you're in love with me. And it's like, but if you'll buy that, he's saying, it's like, I'll sell you some oceanside property in Arizona. I'll throw the Golden Gate in free. And it's just like, it's like just one-liner after one-liner after one-liner.
Yeah, they're just jokes.
Just leading up to like, I don't believe you love me.
Yeah, they're so intense. And also like country music has so many like women problems. And there's so many singers that have such and the women too, where it's like a really backwards view on feminism. But then also they have so many songs that are like, it's either like, I'm going to be the perfect wife, perfect girl, and just like a pair of tits and like a cowboy hat. And then on the flip side of that, all of the songs are like, he cheated on me and therefore I'm going to like cut his dick off and like serve it to his family. Like, I'm going to like light his car on fire. Like they have like there's a weird thing of either like complete anti-feminism or like the most feminist song you've ever heard. I think it's perfect. It's a perfect genre. I have no problems with country music or the people who sing it. No notes.
Yeah, I don't have any notes.
Paul 2020.
Were you also, your parents were also like,
I feel like I got,
that?
I feel like my parents listened to like James Taylor and Joni Mitchell. And then I got really into them as like a really young kid. Like I knew all of the words to like a lot of those albums as like a 10-year-old, which looking back is so weird. like
no, same. It was like rockabye.
Yeah, it was like singing about like heartbreak but I still love all of that music. Yeah, but I think it's a lot about my parents and like that era of rock and folk music. And then also like part of the joke of Friends Who Folk in some ways, or like what made us laugh about it too, was that like we're like modern Brooklynites who are kind of trying to like the characters are kind of trying to revive that or something in this way that like can never happen, like that all of Brooklyn is trying to do all the time, but that like doesn't quite work. Or that's kind of the weird like clownish element of our characters is that we're like, we are Bob Dylan.
Yeah, like that like era of music doesn't exist anymore. I think like people like
that
Aimee
dream
Mann
of New York. Yeah.
I really feel like people like Aimee Mann in the 90s, that was kind of the end of it. Like there's still people who like approximate that style, but like I don't know. There in the 90s there were all those like women. It was like Alanis and Jewel and Aimee Mann, and like I can't think of who that is now.
Yeah, I think there are those
Mitski.
people. Well, yeah, but that's
I think the genres might just be like
They've
changing,
changed.
you know, like
I think
people
it's
are
just
moving
about
to
the
different
music
things.
industry too, or
Yeah.
something like. And I think like Friends Who Folk is also like we're a duo that's like we're gonna get discovered in a club in Greenwich Village or something like that. Like that's the model. That's really. Like you could still make folk music, but you'd have to like come at it from a really different angle. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because so much of it is just quantity of stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's so many artists and there's so many people trying to make it doing like any sort of music that like nobody's ever going to be as big as like the Beatles or the Rolling Stones. Because that was when like those were the names that would pop up and you only had a handful. You were either the Beatles fan or a Rolling Stones fan.
You had to choose.
Yeah.
You had
I would have been the
would you-
Stones, I think.
Stones.
Really?
I think so.
I mean,
I went through more of a
think I
Stones
am
phase
kind of
as
too.
now than I did a Beatles phase.
That sounds like you would have said Beatles.
I just grew up listening to a lot of Beatles, so I feel like I'm like betraying the Beatles. But I do now. I
don't
listen to the
care.
Rolling Stones.
They won't be mad.
Paul is mad.
He's listening.
Paul is mad on behalf of Ringo too.
That's what it said if you listen to that one song backwards. It says Paul is mad at Ned.
Yeah. I know. I feel like I know more of the Beatles, but now if I had to listen to one, I would listen to the Rolling Stones.
Because we're cool.
Yeah, we're pretty rock and roll.
Because we're cool.
I think I would have, like in my adolescence, I would have chosen the Stones, but then I think I would have secretly wished I had chosen the Beatles by now. Like I would have been like, oh, I was wrong, but I'm not going to tell anyone. And I'm just going to keep saying the
I've
Rolling
made my
Stones.
bed. Yeah, you can never
My
go
dad,
back.
because I'm like, my dad was definitely a Stones guy. I think.
Oh, really?
Like, he thought it's interesting to talk to, my dad about that time period because I think of them both as rock acts, but my dad very clearly thought of the Stones as a rock and roll band and the Beatles as a pop band.
Yeah.
And for that reason,
Yeah.
not like alone, but he was like, no, I didn't listen to pop music. I listened to rock music.
Right.
And that's where he kind of drew that line. And I think also, by the time I was a teenager, he was a lot more diplomatic about it. He was a lot more like, oh yeah, they're both great. Here, live
That's
records
nice
from
of
both,
him.
like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he definitely in his youth would have been way more of a Stones fan.
Yeah. Yeah, the Beatles were like Katy Perry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Katy Perry's as good as the Beatles.
Right? I mean, I've always said that. Dark Horse?
From the beginning, you said that. You've always said it. Yes.
Yeah, day one.
Dark Horse is Katy Perry's Sgt. Pepper.
Oh my God. I think that's really true.
Wow. I went to a Katy Perry concert once.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
How good was it?
It was really
good was
scary, you guys.
Where was it?
Well,
Here?
it was at Barclays. I ran into like a friend who I don't see that often who was going, and they were like, "Oh, there's like really cheap tickets." And I was like, I'm not a Katy Perry fan, but I was like, I just want to see what it's like. And then it was fun for like
A second.
yeah, and then I was there.
Yeah. And then you had to like be at a Katy
But
Perry
it was
concert.
fascinating. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
Check her out.
that's exactly what people say about Beatles concerts. They got one song in and they're like, oh, I guess I'm here now.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, now I'm stuck.
I can't imagine if you were, like really music fan back in the Beatles days, you scored a ticket to go see one of their shows and then people are just screaming around you nonstop, how obnoxious that would probably be.
I know. You were like, I just want to hear the song.
Yeah.
Well, wait, speaking of full circle,
Pachelbel's canon.
to Rand Paul, I saw Aimee Mann in concert like a month ago.
Oh, wow.
And she was playing at the Prospect Park Band Shell, and
Nice.
people would not shut up. They were everyone was talking so loud, and I couldn't hear her. And I did the thing, where people in front of you are talking really loudly, and you want them to stop talking, so you stare at the back of their heads really strongly and try to use your
Telepathy.
brain to
Yeah.
get them to stop talking. And
Did it work?
no, it didn't work.
Sad.
It was crazy. I don't know why people go to a concert to talk, but especially Aimee Mann, because her music is not like loud.
Yeah.
It's all slow and sad. Like she has 2 fast songs, and it was crazy.
Yeah.
It made me so mad.
I went to a show at the Beacon Theater to see this like acoustic band play with like an orchestra, and it was beautiful. It was like a 40-piece orchestra. It was wonderful. But this guy behind me was there to sing the songs.
Oh no.
He was there to sing these songs. And, I kind of was like, well, he's having fun. So I don't want to rain on his parade. But he was singing so loud that I could not hear the orchestra. So I just plugged one of my ears and sort of like tilted my head towards the stage. And I hear him go, yo, this guy in front of me, he keeps plugging his ears. Like, what the fuck? And I was like, take a hit.
What? Oh my God. I think I would have told him to be quiet. I would have been like, excuse me, sir. Can you shut the fuck up? I know that's a tough one though. Cause I know I've been in that position and I'm like, there's like an unwritten thing that like you're like allowed to sing along at concerts. But if it's like a quiet acoustic set, like don't.
How was his voice?
It was bad. It was very.
At least there's that.
That happened to me at a Jenny Lewis concert where this woman next to me was singing so loudly. And luckily I was with a friend who's like a little bit more of a bitch than me. And she just kept being like, shh. And the woman would stop.
I think I've probably talked about this on the show before, but one of the worst crowds I've ever been to was at a Sugar Roast concert back in like 2009.
Someone was singing along?
One guy. But it was like like an outdoor band shell kind of thing. So there were seats for the most part. This is in Boston, and the thing was the big point of contention was that some people were standing when the band came out to like watch their favorite band, and then all these other people who wanted to sit down were just screaming at the people who were standing up, and it was like I was so distraught because I was like, isn't this like a chill audience, guys? Sugar Roast fans, aren't we all agreed that we are very calm? Not even that, but just I think like why would we have a problem with each other?
Right.
I think also at a concert, most people, if they really like the band, stand up and watch the show. And I don't know why you would be mad at that.
Yeah, that's a real thing at concerts, like where you're seated and you have assigned seats. I don't know what the answer is. Sometimes I do want to sit, but I feel like I can't be mad at standers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it depends. It also depends on the person.
Don't be mad at standers.
I want a pin that says "Don't be mad at standers" to wear to concerts. Like when I saw Regina Spektor at Radio City Musical, and I feel like people mostly sat until she like started playing her hits at the end.
Yeah.
But that made sense to me. Like Regina Spektor doesn't seem like a stand up and like scream.
Yeah, you don't want to dance.
No.
Necessarily.
That's also if there's a venue you're going to sit at. It's
Radio City.
Yeah.
But then, she played Samson and everyone was up on their feet dancing, singing along, clapping. You know how that is. That song is a joy.
Yeah.
It's a bop.
I saw Vampire Weekend there, which was like a very odd band, I think, to see a Radio City
That's
Musical.
weird.
Because it was everyone like stood, but then you could tell people probably wanted to more or less like dance and
right,
bounce
and then you're
around
in your
each other,
aisle.
but like no one was.
Yeah.
Did
They're
you
just like yeah.
Yeah, you're just kind of shaking.
You have your little slot, and you can't really.
Did you see their set list from Lollapalooza this weekend? They started off by playing A-Funk. What's their song? 3 times in a row.
Right? Yeah.
And like that was their set list. They just opened it up by playing that song 3 times in a row, and everyone had to listen to them play it 3 times, and then they moved on with their set list. I thought that was pretty funny.
That's great.
I don't know if they were like trolling the audience or like.
We at the show the other night, one of the opening bands was playing, and they were playing songs that like were fun and like energetic, but like not songs anybody should be moshing to. No. But then there were a bunch of bros in the crowd that were like, hell yeah, we're doing this. And like ripped their shirts off and dove in. It was too much. It's too much.
When bros decide they want to do that, they're going to do it no matter what the music is.
It was
right. And it was like just like chill kind of indie rock at that point. And they were like throwing themselves around. And like one of the guys was doing this thing where he just like kind of like collapses backwards to like clear a room. And they're doing that. And then I see him on the floor with his phone, like with a flashlight, like looking for something.
He dropped his earrings.
The band set ends and he comes out and his glasses, one of them is missing a lens.
Oh no.
And I just hear him go, yo, this chick just like reared up and punched me in the face. I was like, great, perfect. That's wonderful. That's the best thing I heard all night.
Yeah.
That's
Taking
really
justice
good.
into her own hands.
Oh my God.
She was not having it.
That's
great.
what I always want to do. I got a bloody lip at a Weezer concert.
Oh no.
Whoa.
Yeah, everyone got I think it was like Say It Ain't
Were
So
you
or
doing the
something.
same thing as that guy? Did they get
Yeah.
mad at you? Yeah.
Yeah.
You were forming the circle pit.
I was moshing. No, it was like as soon as that song started, everyone started jumping and someone elbowed me in the face. And I was like, ow. And then you know that thing where you like touch your lip, but it's fine. And you're just being a baby. you know?
Yeah.
I like did that and then I looked and I was bleeding. And I was like, hardcore, dude. Weezer. Hell yeah.
Super intense.
Yeah, the most intense band.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for talking to us about Aimee Mann. That was so wonderful.
Oh my God, yeah.
I hope you guys learned a lot about it.
We didn't even get to talk about Magnolia.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well,
we'll just
quick
have to have
takes
you
on
back.
Magnolia? No, let's do quick takes on Magnolia.
Quick takes. I love it. It's
I've
too long.
Never seen it.
I've
actually
never seen it.
And I love Paul Thomas Anderson, so I don't know. It's kind of one of those weird movies where I'm like, I don't know why I haven't seen it, but now it feels too late. Like, if
not
I
too
did,
late.
it would feel so like intense. You know what I mean?
It's
'Cause
really
I
good.
missed it.
Tom Cruise is excellent in it.
Well, I know you're a big Mission Impossible
I became
fan.
a really big Mission Impossible fan this weekend. So, but yeah, you should check it out. All of you
cool.
guys, Magnolia.
Hashtag Magnolia.
It's a film by Paul Thomas Anderson. Everyone check it out.
She does basically the whole soundtrack too, right?
She is the whole soundtrack. What if I was just here to plug the movie Magnolia? Yeah, I'm here talking about Magnolia.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think her music came first, maybe, and then he kind of wrote a lot of it around her music, like listening to her music.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is very powerful. People are going to do that with our music someday, and it's going to be a fucking shitty movie.
Well, thank you, everyone. Please give it up.
Thank you.
Yay! Thank you.
If you want to hear Rachel and Ned's cover of Save Me by Aimee Mann, head on over to repeater.show where you can stream it.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that, or you're still listening because you want to save it for later. And I totally get that because it's a very good cover and you want to focus on that song. But for now, let's head back to QED and hear some funny songs from funny people. Friends Who Folk.
Are you good?
Yeah. So we're gonna do a little song about living in New York, and you guys all live in New York, so
Yeah. Is that
maybe
true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show of hands.
When New York's got you down,
When the city makes you blue,
just
take a look around. There's magic all around you. You can go on a spree to gay old Paris, and you don't have to leave NYC. Just go to Le Pain, Le Pain, Le Pain quotidien, croissant, baguette, soufflé. Le pain, le pain, le pain quotidien, prêt à manger. I saw Gérard Depardieu kiss Audrey Tattoo at Panera and Murray Hill. Marion Cotillard has a frequent buyer card at Au Bon Pain.
où est le pain quotidien?
Je m'appelle Isabelle Huppert.
Ah!
Blue is the warmest color. And lest we forget, Paris baguette and Cossy, Cosa, Cosette. There is a castle on a cloud.
Les Mis.
And it looks like Le Pain, Le Pain, Le Pain quotidien, croissant, baguette, soufflé. Le Pain, Le Pain, Le Pain quotidien, Timothy Chalamet. I saw Juliette Binoche eating brioche at Key and Gaillard in Times Square. Oh, mon frère, I wish that you'd been there. So if you are sad, light up a cigarette, turn on Amelie, and pretend you live in gay Paris.
Thank you. Now do you see what we mean about how inspired we were by the greatest songwriters of all time?
Yeah, how it's, just a little bit sad.
This other song is a pretty new song that we've only performed a couple times, and we really wanted to write like a song of summer.
Yeah, we feel like we're lacking in that this summer, so
yeah, like
why
what
not
is
just
the
write it
song of
ourselves?
summer? Like I don't even know.
It's usually Fast Car
By
Tracy
Tracy
Chapman
Chapman.
for me.
That's what it was
personally.
last summer.
Yeah.
But
Fast Car.
but yeah, we decided to just write our own.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
sorry.
Sometimes the cape,
Rock
you know.
and roll, you know. What?
There we go.
Summer's here, pass the beer. The sun is hot, the water's cool. You spend the whole day by the pool with all your friends. I love partying with all my friends. Gonna have a wild time, it's gonna be a crazy night. 'Cause I'm gonna get drunk and go right to bed. Have a couple of drinks and be asleep by 10. 'Cause I wanna have fun and party till I see the sun. But I am almost 30. I'm not 30 yet, but I'm almost 30. It's almost 8 o'clock. Time to rock. By rock I mean I'll brush my teeth, put in retainers, go to sleep. I love to sleep. When I drink now I get so sick. Even when I barely drink, I end up barfing in the sink. Pass out with all of my lights on. My hangovers are 2 days long. I didn't think that I was old, but Jesus Christ, my body feels just so old. When did I lose the will to be up late? When did it get so hard to move my body? When did it get so hard to do basic things like tie my shoe? Why the hell are my feet so far away? When I put my symptoms into WebMD, it just said, bitch, shut up, you're almost 30. I'm only 29. Oh,
I always forget that you're a year younger than me.
I never do. Yeah, I like get this song, but there are like certain parts that I feel like I don't quite get. Like I don't get like the part about not feeling like you can tie your shoes.
Really?
Yeah.
I just feel like the older you get, the harder it is to bend down, tie your shoe. Someone in the audience said your back hurts. Your back hurts, or it's physically incapable of bending.
Yeah.
And when you turn 29, I think you're just suddenly not going to be able to tie your shoe.
Yeah, I guess I just haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, we get it.
Let's get drunk and go right to bed. Drink enough of beer, then leave the bar. 'Cause I wanna drink a whiskey rye, but whiskey makes me wanna die. 'Cause I am almost 30. I'm not 30 yet, but I'm almost 30.
Thank you so much.
If you want to keep up with Friends Who Folk, check out friendswhofolk.com for music and tour dates and all that good stuff. You can also follow them on Instagram at Friends Who Folk.
Yeah, and you can also keep up to date with Ned and Rachel on the internet. Rachel's website is rachelwenitsky.com and Ned's website is nedriseley.com.
Also, check out the Story Pirates podcast, for which Rachel is the head writer. We love Story Pirates. They're great friends of the show. And also read Reductress, because everyone should be reading Reductress. It's like the funniest website ever.
It's the best. You know what else is the best? Shout outs. I just want to say hello to Aimee Mann. We saw that you liked our one Instagram post. So if you're listening, we hope you enjoyed this. And thank you for that song. It's wonderful.
Oh boy, that was a fun 3rd anniversary episode. And guess what, folks? It's going to be our last episode until the new year.
Yeah, we want to take some time to make sure that we can keep providing quality content for you all. And just like the Fast and the Furious series, we want to keep producing. We're coming back too fast, too furious.
Oh yeah, so you better watch out come January 2019, because Repeater's going to be back in action and have more Vin Diesel than ever before.
Yeah, we're going to be a street racing podcast.
Yeah. But keep your eyes on repeater.show and our social handles because we'll still be putting stuff out there into the world, and dig back into those archives. Tell your friends about the show. We love all of the support that we've gotten so far, and we'll be back before you even know it. So until next time, everybody, hit repeat.
Evan, put a shirt on.
Repeater is hosted by Evan Ford Barden and Patrick Cartelli at QED in Astoria, Queens, a place to show and tell. Find out more at QEDAstoria.com. Our show is supported in part by Hi-Fi Records and Cafe in Astoria. Visit them from wherever you are at hi-fi-records.com. Editing by Stephen Garvey. Theme music by the Sun Lions. Everything else by Love Nest Productions. Welcome to Repeater.